So I think I'm just going to make one up for this one. This is just clear water on Fabriano, 15 by 11. Plenty of water because I want to do a nice dramatic sky. So a bit of raw sienna, a bit of burnt umber, just bash it in. A bit of ultramarine in there as well. A bit of light red in, just to have a bit of interest. Burnt umber, ultramarine. Let's try and get really dark now. Really darken it up a bit. Flick that across. You see, I'm trying to preserve these lighter areas. This is the light in the sky, and these will be the reflections in the water. A bit more. I'm just taking a bit of everything, really. A bit of everything. A bit of colour in there. Some across there. And then what I'm going to do is, when I can't go on anymore, when it starts to dry, I'm just going to dry it completely and then re-wet it and then carry on. Just try and get some real depth in the sky. So a lot of this will change anyway as we go along. Pop a few clouds in, white clouds, some on this side. Even just pop a few clouds with the hike as well. It's sort of coming down there now. Sort of gets smaller and smaller as I go off into the distance. Something like that. Put more down there. What am I doing? Pull that tight. See how the paper stretched slightly. And then once it's tight, I'll give it a dry with the hairdryer. Across it like that, as long as I can't see a shine. I know that's fairly dry. So then I'm going to clean the brush and then once all that has dripped off, just re-wet it all the way down to the bottom, and because it's dry the paint should stay where it is. That's nice and wet again. And then we can start again, going in with any sort of mixes you like, really. And by doing it this way, it just really helps add some depth in there. The more layers you add, the more interesting it will look. Do a light red, ultramarine. Popping that down like that. Down the bottom. Then umber, ultramarine. I'll pop some of those clouds in. Let's just strengthen these up a bit. Some big ones up here. And then they get smaller and smaller as they get down to the horizon line. Maybe darken that up a bit. Take our tissue, let's pop a few little white clouds up in there. A few more along there, something like that. Maybe pop them on this side as well. Pools of water at the bottom. Yeah. Don't keep dry. won't dry too much because I just want to pop in some land now. Just some on the horizon. So I want it nice and dark. Something coming down there like that. And we'll sort of stop there. Pop a few little reflections. So the paper's still wet, so I can still put the reflections in. Somewhere up there. Again, put down those reflections. Put something in front of that as well, coming down. This is nearer to us now. Again, those reflections going in. See how you're creating sort of layers as we go along, coming closer and closer towards us. A little bit darker there, again. Just reflect that down. Even should we have another layer in? I think I'll leave it at that for now. It's not quite dry, so we're giving it sort of nice soft look to it. Let's stick a big boat in. You can see I've got just enough water to hold the hairs together. Nice and dark. Let's have a boat. Somewhere going right up there. So. Reflections down there. Sail or something on there. The paper's still wet, so I'm not going to get sharp edges. It's still going to soften off. Let's just put a few little bits of lines of rigging. And then doing the reflections as well, not so much. Just make it a little bit darker. Darken that reflection as well. Some stuff on the water there. Bit of land in the foreground. Just cutting across there like that. Always looks dramatic, you know, you've got some real nice contrast there, the light against dark. Just those bits of sand, and even just scrape a few little rocks out. In fact, I might have to pull the paper a bit tight because it's still. See how it's coming away. See how much it's stretched the way it comes away from the board. So let's just pull it tight again. So it's nice and flat. I can't scrape out rocks if the paper's not flat against the board. Now just take a piece of card, just a piece of little library card or something, I think this is. And just scraping a few little rocks. I'm only doing them small, just keeping it subtle. Let's have a big one there. Something like that. Yeah, it should dry. And then stick just a little bird up there in the sky somewhere, just to add a bit of life to it. Just sticking with the rigger somewhere in the lighted area so it contrasts well. Little birds in silhouette flying. in that bottom corner. I'm just going to stick my signature and call that one finished. So let's have a look at it with the mount on. It should look a bit better. So here's our finished painting with the mount on. As usual, started off with the sky. Done it in 2 stages. Wet it all over, put it in nice and dark either side, try to preserve this lighter area of the sky and then reflect it in the water. Dried it, re-wet it, carried on just to try and get these darker tones. The darker your surrounding areas, the lighter areas will look. Distant land put in while it was still wet and pulled down the reflections, and then another layer on this side. I mean, coming further forward again, another bit of land here, and then the focal point of the picture, we got our boat just put in loosely with a hake. Main section there, just a nice chisel edge with a hake just to put the mast right up, and then using a bit of rig, the rigger brush, number 3 rigger, just to put in the fine bits of rigging. Don't forget the reflections, just helps create that illusion of water, and then a little bit of land in the foreground with a few rocks scraped out with a corner of a piece of card. Helps create the effect. I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Any questions please ask. This painting, just like all my others, available in my eBay store, and I'll see you again soon.